Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with Good Clean Gaming RX, and today we're going to go ahead and do another player guide. This one to the Arena Commander module. So I'm here at the Star Citizen main login screen, and if you click on the Arena Commander module, this will bring up the arcade section of the game. So there are a couple different options here. Private is currently disabled, so you have single player or multiplayer. Multiplayer allows you to play any of these 7 different modes. Duel is just 1v1. Squadron Battle is teams, essentially a team deathmatch. Battle Royale is a free-for-all. Vanduul Swarm and Pirate Swarm are both multiplayer versions of the single-player Pirate Swarm and Vanduul Swarm, basically just increasing waves of the either Nova Rider or Vanduul. Free Flight is you can get in and play with anyone that's in there. Good place to practice combat, although there's kind of some caveats to that. And then you have Classic Race. If we exit this though and we go back to Arena Commander, the main one, if you select single player here, this is a great place to practice your dogfighting techniques. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to get into Vanduul Swarm here. We're going to leave this map at Broken Moon. You can pick Dying Star, but it's very, very cloudy. So I like this Broken Moon because it's much easier to see. You can come down here then and select Rent Ship and pick any of the various different ships that you have available to you, and then you have some that you can rent down here with rental credit. As you can see up here in the top right hand corner, that tells you how much rental credit you have. At the start, that's probably not going to be too high, but once you start doing some of these, you can get a decent amount of rec rather quickly. So I'm just flying in my Anvil Arrow, and I have gone through and upgraded all of the components on here. It comes standard with a bracer, but I've upgraded it with a couple of ultra-flow coolers, a JS300 power plant, and the Palisade shield generators. I've also gone into vehicle weapons and added the Attrition 1 repeaters onto the top turret. That's just right up here. And then I've also put some size 2 attrition repeaters here on gimbal mounts on the left and right wing. So this is a great place to get in and test out various different loadouts, different cooler types, different weapons, all that kind of stuff, because these different mounts can be rented very, very quickly and easily. You don't have to be flying all over the verse to try and get the different components that you need, and you can test them out against a variety of different ships that you'll come across in the game. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save changes and equip, even though I've really not made any changes, and hit back. We've got the ship selected. This is something too that you'll want to keep track of. So for instance, if I click on the Avenger Titan here and hit select ship, that will then change the one that's highlighted. So I want to make sure this kind of dull blue outline here is the one that I'm actually going to fly. This is the one currently selected, so I want to hit select ship to make sure that I'm using that Anvil Arrow, and then we'll go ahead and get into the game.
Vanduul Swarm initiated.
I apologize if I sound a little bit funny today. I've come down with a bit of a cold, so I'm a bit stuffed up and a bit under the weather. So I've gone ahead and hit the G key here so that I can take full advantage of the gimbal mode weapons that I have.
There are multiple hostiles inbound.
You do have a couple of friendly AIs with you, but I do find that they get taken out relatively quickly, and so it's better to plan on doing most of the combat yourself. So as you can see, it's a perfect way to get in, practice your different techniques.
There are multiple hostiles inbound.
There'll be multiple enemies. There we go, there's one down there. And essentially each wave that pops into the game will have more enemies with it. But this is a great way to practice your power management and to practice your different techniques. Speed management, evasion, all that kind of stuff. Against AI that are generally pretty easy to kill. There we go, just like that. You do have a couple of power-ups, such as repairs and fuel that you can get. There we go, 1%. And this is a great way to practice and a good way to judge, I guess, also how well you are learning the different skills that you'll be practicing. If you are playing with friends, of course, you can invite them to the multiplayer versions of this, of Arena Commander. Oh goodness, getting a bit happy with those missiles there. And another one bites the dust. So you can also use this to practice your radar, judging closing distances, basically all of your ship combat techniques. This is a great way to get in and do that because you don't have to deal generally with lag. As this is a single player, it's all hosted right on your computer.
Target destroyed.
And there we go, one more. So I'm just going to go ahead and we'll play through a full match of this. As you can see, there are 9 waves. I'm going to go ahead and recharge on repairs here. It's only 1%, so most of that is just going to be... Oh goodness, almost got hit there. So I'm going to go ahead and swap power back over to my shields so that I can get those back up. Evade fire from this guy here. Flare off that missile. Take him out and swap. So this guy is right behind me. So I'm going to go ahead and... oh goodness. swap around and get him quickly before he does too much damage to me. There we go. And as you can see, you'll get the rec credits or points as you make kills. I'm going to go ahead and reduce speed here as this guy comes in. Perfect, and take him out. Alright, so that's 4 waves down. And we should be getting the second one spawn here. There we go. In just a couple seconds. I'm going to go ahead and swap over to this guy. Grab that repair. I'm still good on fuel, and I haven't used any missiles. Oh goodness. Lots and lots of missiles there. He got pretty well messed up there. Flare that one off. Oh! So I've smacked into something there. I think I must have collided with another fighter, which is not a big deal because you do get some respawns. I've got 4 left at this point. I'm going to go ahead and select the closest one.
Target destroyed. Okay. Shield. Okay. Target destroyed.
And each time I'm basically targeting the closest fighter here. There we go. And taking them out. Oh goodness. That one was close. So I'm going to go ahead and put full power into my weapons. And then those are all charged up, so I'm going to go ahead and swap to shields here.
Target destroyed.
And that's another one. Oh goodness. Alright, so I'm going to put full power into my shields here, because I'm getting eaten alive. We're going to get out of the way of this thing. There we go. Power back. I'm going to swap back into gimbal mode here so that I can take full advantage of my gimbals. You can just do that by hitting the G key, of course. Put power back into engines to get my boost back up. And then back over to shields again. There we go. It just helps. The auto gimbal does at least to help get those shots on target. There we go. And another one. Oh goodness.
Target destroyed.
helps when they hold still.
Target destroyed.
And there we go. So that's got 6 waves done. We've had 1 death. We do still have one of our little buddy AIs over here. Actually, looks like both of them are still in the fight. But we are loading in now, and we've got the best part of 8 bad guys, I think, at this point. Among them, an alpha AI. So they are flying, I believe it's a Vanduul glaive. Go and flare that one off.
Target destroyed.
Alright, 1 down. Perfect. Let's go ahead and swap over to our closest one.
Target destroyed. Shields intact.
Flare that one off.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
So, and I'm using a technique here called the J hook. And essentially what I'm doing here is I'll line up on my target and move towards them. But then as I get closer, I'm turning away from the target in that, or strafing away from the target in that my direction of travel is different from the way that I'm pointing. I'm essentially drifting away from my target. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll hit this guy with a missile here. And hopefully finish him off. Rather quickly. There we go. Alright, 2 more waves and we'll have survived this one.
Warning. There are multiple hostiles inbound.
And as you can tell, each successive wave starts you off with more bad guys. They do not seem to increase in difficulty level. Go ahead and dodge that one. Lots and lots of missiles in the air now.
Target destroyed.
I'm going to swap power back into my shields here. There we go. Get my shields up.
Target destroyed.
For punishing this guy the rest of the way, we're going to go ahead and swap over to missile mode here. Whoop. Too close.
Target destroyed.
And one more.
Target destroyed.
remaining.
Alright, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and we'll get over to these repairs here.
Bogey.
Elite units on bridge.
There we go. Repaired by 36%. So I've taken a decent amount of damage there. So it's always a good idea to hit those up.
Bogey. Target destroyed. Bogey. Bogey.
And if you can stay evasive and orbit around your target as you're dealing damage,
Target destroyed.
that's a great way of shaking off damage. And doing the maximum amount of damage yourself.
Target destroyed. Shields. Shield down.
Alright, shields are down. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here again. We're going to swap power back over to shields and get those back up. There we go. Perfect. Got just a couple more left to go, and we'll have these guys whipped.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
And there we go. So we've completed all of Vanduul Swarm. 20 minutes, 30 seconds. We've made 51,000 wreck, which is enough to rent some of the smaller ships. It's, you know, a short 20 minutes or so. And a great way to get in and practice your dogfighting techniques and basically see how you measure up against the NPCs. Now once you've done a significant amount of that, some good practice, from there you can get into the Arena Commander multiplayer, going up into either Free Flight or the Battle Royale. And those are great ways to practice dogfighting against other players, and great ways to really test and see how you are going to fare against other players, because the lag is significantly less in a lot of these battles, and you'll often find a lot of the good players are hanging out in either free flight or battle royale, and so it's a good way to jump in and test out your skills as you get a little bit better in the verse. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please do hit that like button down below and consider subscribing, and I will see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Ta-ta.